What is up, everybody?
How's it going?
Happy day after Book of Boba Fett. It's over. I'm sad, but guys, if you want, well, no, I apologize. YouTube has been crashing today or having some sort of mood, so it has taken me forever to upload. I literally just posted, I'm so sorry, my reaction video, but when you watch that, you'll meet this guy. My members have already seen him. I posted a little sneak peek to them, but after last week's episode, I was just like, why don't we own one of these? And we were watching a lot of
And now we do.
reaction compilations, and a lot of people just had a little Grogu to cuddle with, and I was like, I want that. So, welcome to our new son, little baby Grogu. He'll be joining us from here on out. This has honestly been the best purchase. Alice, thank you so much. I love your hair up. You look great. I appreciate that because I only wear my hair up when I haven't washed it in like 5 days and it looks horrible. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. I feel like
Way to
it
just roast yourself.
I'm open about. I don't care. People know the life of a YouTuber. You spend half the time like a hermit editing, and then you gotta just get ready real quick if you're going live. But thank you, because I was feeling self-conscious about it, because I feel like it de-ages me like 10 years. I feel like I look like I'm 12. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Sean, Colin, Captain Wrecked, Charlie, William, the Stanleys, what's up? Alice again, my girl, Aden, Han and Leia's oldest son. Oh my gosh, welcome back. Average, Marshall, Lotta, this is where the fun begins.
Welcome.
Well, guys, actually, we have a fun treat tonight. So, of course, we wanted to discuss Ninja in Pajamas. How we doing, home skillets? We're doing great. Well, I'm exhausted. I'm sure Tom is as well.
We are in pajamas.
Oh, yeah.
Ninjas, though.
I literally just got ready for the day 15 minutes before this stream. It's been quite the day of editing and rewatching last night's episode. But before we do that, you guys are in for...
No, let's do the episode first.
No. Okay, fine.
I want to get the episode out of the way.
Fine. But the problem is somebody might spoil it in the chat. This news is exciting. Like,
Oh.
okay,
All right,
this is gonna be good. Tom has been at work all day and has not seen the news that dropped today. So I don't know how to reveal this to you. It's not something you would watch. But just go on your phone.
Okay. On the phone, it seemed like there was some trailer or something.
No, go on your phone. No, it's something epic. Go on your phone.
No trailer? Okay.
And go look at anything. Twitter, Instagram, you'll see it immediately.
Do you know what she's talking about, chat?
Yes, nobody spoil it.
I'm not reading the chat, but...
Nobody spoil it.
All right, I'm on Twitter. That's funny.
Big
great.
reveal, huh?
This is the first. Hold on. I opened up Twitter, and this is the first thing that popped up on Twitter.
It was my tweet.
Yeah, it's your tweet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So now we can talk about it.
I like it.
Eli, I love your comment.
Nice.
That episode was blah, but the Kenobi release date, yeah.
We have a date. We have
That's
a
epic,
date.
right? It's not trailer, but it's still epic with a poster. And look what he's holding.
He's got saber. He looks younger than what I would think that he would look like.
I think it's his long hair. It brings him back to Attack of the Clones Kenobi.
But it's not like gray. I was expecting it to be.
Well, it's also really
It is also
very,
not clear.
yeah.
You gotta zoom in real far.
Yeah.
But we have a date.
Yep.
Let's go. May 25th. Is that the last Wednesday in May?
It is. It's right before Celebration weekend.
The day before Celebration.
Yes. Who here's going to Celebration? Sound off
Interesting.
in the chat. We haven't gotten tickets yet. I don't even know if there's still tickets left. I would love to try to go, but I'm sure resale tickets are going to be like thousands of dollars at this point. He looks like old Luke from afar. A little bit. You're right, Alice. It's the hair. I guess that's the old Jedi hairstyle. But not on Star Wars Day. Well, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned now because we know the rate that Disney drops trailers. I mean, we didn't...
No, we're getting a trailer before Star Wars Day. If they wait till May 4th to give us a trailer, that is...
Here's the thing, though. It's been... Everyone's... there was that theory about Super Bowl weekend trailer could come out. I don't want it to come out during the Super Bowl. And it's already been confirmed. Like, we know everyone's already going to be looking out for the Lord of the Rings trailer, which they said is going to be premiering during the Super Bowl. So I don't think Star Wars would try to rival that.
Disney cares about Lord of the Rings?
I don't think they would try to rival that. I think...
Yeah, because Kenobi trailer would beat it out, because Lord of the Rings is sub to Star Wars.
No.
Yes. Kenobi trailer,
No.
I guarantee, beats the life out of the Lord of the Rings trailer.
No, no, no. Hey, this Lord of the Rings trailer is highly anticipated. This show has been in development for years. But, yes, Lord of the Rings trailer is coming out during the Super Bowl. I'm so excited, but I'm gonna have to, like, run out of the room so that I can react to it at another time. Yeah, Book of Boba Fett trailer was a month before the release. That's what I'm saying. We know how Disney is with their trailers. Like, perhaps we're not gonna get a Kenobi trailer until actual May the 4th, which would be sweet.
Yeah,
like,
maybe the final official trailer, but we're gonna get a teaser. Like, even Boba Fett teasers came out. Now I gotta do all this research.
Maybe I shouldn't have sprung this on you right before the stream. Are you confirming when our first teasers came out for Book of Boba Fett?
Well, I'm also checking...
Tom is right, you know, says Sean. I see where you stand in the Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars divide.
I don't understand why they're having if they're gonna not release it on Star Wars Day. They obviously don't want series to be half over by the time it gets Celebration. But then why would they release an episode prior to Celebration?
So that then
what's the panel gonna be at Celebration for Kenobi if they're gonna
maybe they'll stream it. Maybe they'll stream it there, like
the episode that came out the night before.
Yeah,
that everyone's already seen.
Maybe I would still watch it, and then if there was a panel with the cast and crew that came out.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be the cast and crew, but
the first episode would have to be absolute fire flames, though, which I think it will be. Like it would have
six,
to be,
so there better not be any.
They all need to be fire and flames. Seems
the
odd.
first trailer was 3 months ago.
For Book of Boba.
What's the date? I need a date.
It's so sad in retrospect watching the trailers and remembering the anticipation. And now
November 1st. So 2 months prior, Boba Fett trailer dropped. November 1st, Boba dropped literally the last Wednesday in December. So that was 2 months prior. So 2 months prior would be the end of March. But this is the official trailer that was 2 months prior. So I could very well see a teaser before then, but at the same time, I don't know. Because it is 6 episodes. Ideally, they wouldn't even make a trailer at all because every single inch of the episode would be revealing into what's going on, and we don't want to know that before watching the show. Versus Boba, you have these silly little fight scenes they throw in the trailer, and then it doesn't tell you anything about the plot. But any single thing that Kenobi's fighting is going to be like a telltale giveaway.
I want Kenobi trailer, though, to be exactly like... I used to complain about this with Star Wars marketing, and some of y'all have heard me rant about this in my members-only streams. It's not great. Like, I previously used to think it wasn't great. Like, they would give us nothing to hold us over, then they would finally drop a trailer. It wouldn't release any details. Even with these new shows, Mandalorian, nobody knew what that show was going to be about. There was absolutely no plot or storyline. We literally knew the protagonist character, and, like, that was it. So we all went into that show, like, blindfolded, having absolutely no idea. Like, they definitely don't make an attempt to garner interest in their shows. Like, Book of Boba Fett, they dropped absolutely no information whatsoever in regards to like potential plot or antagonist in any of their marketing. But that's just how it is now. Like, I've become used to that with Star Wars, so that when you watch the show, everything is a huge surprise. And honestly, like, they've really changed. The Star Wars marketing has, like, manipulated the way that I want to see trailers now. Like, I've just grown so used to, like, not getting any information at all. Like, not getting anything. No details, no storyline, no plot at all. Like, and then just going in blind and, like, being surprised. And, like, let me know if that's just me, like, or if Star Wars has also changed you guys in this way. But I feel like trailers these days tend to give out too much information. And Star Wars is like, nope, we are giving absolutely nothing. Give them as little as possible, and it's all going to be from within the first, like, 30 minutes of the show. And then so the rest of the series is just going to be completely a surprise. And that's, I mean, how Book of Boba Fett went. So for Kenobi, I hope that they maintain their similar pattern of giving us absolutely nothing. Like, don't reveal much, don't even reveal Hayden, don't reveal anything. Like, I want this show to just be... I want to have no expectations. I have high expectations, but I don't want to go in like... I just want to go in ready to just have my world rocked.
I mean, it's already the most hyped, largest expectation show that's out there. A trailer's not going to raise, personally, my expectations anymore. Like, I already have massively high aspirations and hopes for the show, and a trailer would hopefully confirm them.
Yep.
Versus, if it's going to suck, I'd rather get a trailer and we can see it's going to suck prior to it coming out.
No.
That way the show doesn't come out, and then we're all sitting here like, what on earth did they just do?
That's not going to be that.
Obi-Wan literally has a Power Ranger gang now, and then he's going around fighting Inquisitors. And then they're just gonna shoot guns at each other for 45 minutes.
Could you imagine if the Power Rangers show up? No, they wouldn't. They can't. They won't. Anyway, we can move on from that and discuss what we came here to talk about. I've seen some discussion of it in the chat so far. But yeah, Book of Boba Fett finale happened last night. How's everybody feeling? Alice says, yeah, I don't think anything will change our perspective on the Kenobi show. Like, if he is sitting on a chair in the dark the whole season, we'll love it. I agree. Patrick Kelly, what is up? It's so good to see you. David says, I give the Book of Boba Fett an 8 out of 10. It was a story of redemption, continuing the Star Wars stories that The Mandalorian set up. It was good. I'm content. Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, their marketing / lack thereof is only aimed at fans. Yup. The speculation is part of the fun, but it can build expectations, not always good. That's a good point, and I think that's a little bit what happened here with this Book of Boba Fett season. Sometimes when you give us absolutely nothing, for example, no antagonist, people predicted Crimson Dawn, Kira, like, people form their own predictions, and I feel like that's a downfall for myself, which is why I tell you guys I primarily don't make predictions because they never come to fruition, so I just don't even try, but also because whenever I do, and I do have some sort of like, oh, I think this is what's gonna happen, it kind of sets up my hopes a little bit, and when it doesn't happen, I'm like, now I just feel stupid, but also I had my heart set on this, so now I just feel salty that it didn't go down, and I think that's kind of a little bit of what happened with Book of Boba Fett here. I think they needed to quell the Crimson Dawn chatter when they had the chance with marketing, because I'm sure they were aware that that's what people were talking about. That was the huge buzz about this show, crime world, Crimson Dawn, Kira, like these familiar antagonists that people would want to see again, that are around during this time frame. So I think that's a good point. Sometimes giving not enough opens the floodgates for I mean, let's admit, like, the Star Wars fandom, we, I think, speculate and create conspiracies and theories more than, like, anybody else. So...
Yeah, and that's a good thing about having trailers and more open marketing. Like, if you reveal the bare bones basis of the plot earlier on, then there's less, you narrow the scope for speculation. But if you announce a show and then don't say anything about it until a month before it comes out, and then the trailer you get a month before it comes out just has snippets of dialogue that aren't relating to the scenes spliced together with, you know, just a few action scenes. Like, there's no insight into the plot, and so it doesn't narrow the speculation nearly as much as it could if you just knew the plot ahead of time. Then the good side is if you know the plot, then you think, oh wow, like, what is this going to look like? Versus if you speculate on the plot and then you're wrong, you're going to be, wow, I didn't think it was going to go this way. And then your vision for the show is misaligned from the creators, and then you're automatically going to be disappointed.
That's a good point.
But I don't even think that the speculation and people's expectations, at least for me, ruined the finale. Like, I think all in all, like, just it made sense. I just think that it was just bad.
No, all right, we disagree.
Like,
but
so if someone said last week, here's what's going to happen in the finale, I bet you $10 million this happens in the finale. Cad Bane's going to show up. Him and Boba are going to fight. Boba's going to kill him. Boba's going to ride the Rancor. Grogu's going to come back and leave Luke. And then they're going to defeat the Pikes. And that's going to be the end of the show. I would have been like, no way. That is so predictable and not exciting and not... There's no... It's just so predictable. And I was like, wow, this literally played out in the most basic, predictable way possible. I think the only... Like, the whole Grogu interaction with the Rancor stuff like that is something that I don't think anyone would have necessarily expected. But yeah, that's the basis for me. But then also, like, all the gun fighting sequences, it just looks so... It's like there's no anxiety or fear. Like people are just running around in the middle of the streets, and this huge Trade Federation droid is shooting 10 feet behind them for 20 minutes of action. And it's like, I didn't once fear for the lives of anyone in the show.
I did.
One, Beskar, it's like instant 10 million HP if you wear Beskar. Like, you cannot get hit, and there's no fear in getting hit. And then, I mean, it reminded me of episode 3 of the Game of Thrones finale, when literally it cuts to person after person just being swarmed by walkers. And you're like, oh wow, they're so dead.
They're
so dead. And then literally Jorah was the only person who died in the Battle of Winterfell. The only person.
And Lyanna,
to scene of people being swarmed by White Walkers. And you're like, there's literally 50 million White Walkers and like 30 of you, and you're telling me 2 people died? That's exactly what I was feeling. And I was like, this doesn't, there's no weight. It doesn't feel real. I thought Cad was like super steep drop off in fear from the last episode to this episode.
How so? Explain, because I'm seeing that as a theme amongst people's criticism, like the way Cad was handled. I personally felt like he was disgusting in this episode. Like, he was despicable, taunting Boba, you know, like smirking at the thought of using the Tusken Raiders to bait him. Like, I just felt like he was an a-hole, like, in this episode. So what? Explain to me like where you think they fell off the wagon with him.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because he showed up. Like, he was in it a lot more. So
I will say, I mean, I think
had the initial scene where he rolled up, and then they just walked away in a stalemate. And I don't know, the way that he was just trying to bait Boba with the Tuscans, like it felt, I don't know, like that whole reveal seemed, again, it was like, it was so obviously the Pikes and not the Nikto gang. And then the Pike leader and Mos Eisley revealed that it was the Nikto gang, and you're like, okay, yeah, we knew that. And you're like, Boba definitely knew that, but then I guess he didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like Boba and Cad's fight, like just, I don't know. It seems like it was choreographed like 30 minutes prior to the shoot. That might be a little harsh, but it's just like, I don't know.
I want to point out the Stanley's comment, because I know a lot of people are salty that he kind of got introduced and then died. But I agree with the Stanleys, like I don't know, his behavior, he was really asking for it. The way that he was taunting Boba, and I think Cad Bane's, I think his last words gave meaning to his entire appearance in the show, but also just the show and Boba's arc in general, when he says, I always knew you were a killer. Literally says that with a smirk on his face, knowing that Boba's about to stab him through the chest. Boba does it anyway. Like, Cad Bane says exactly what Boba is trying to suppress the entirety of the show. He says it, Boba gives in, demonstrates, yes, like, he is a killer at heart. And that for me was the moment, the switch that people, I feel like, had been waiting for the entirety of this show. Like, show Boba Fett, like, just getting pissed off. And, like, he did in that moment. And Cad Bane achieved what he wanted to with his dying words, which is showing Boba you haven't risen above. You may think that you've risen above, but you will always deep down be, the son of Jango Fett. You're never going to fully get rid of your past. And Boba has a whole moment of reckoning. That entire moment after that he has with himself. And he's just kind of, you can see on his face, he's a little bit pissed about what he just did. Like, he's just so, like, he's obviously angry at Cad Bane, but he doesn't have a look of relief on his face. He has a look of, like, I just did that. And Cad Bane's kind of right. So that, to me, made, I don't know, that felt very, I really liked that moment. That felt like a full circle moment in the show. Yeah, everybody's talking. No. I'm seeing squirrely circles. Wait, is he dead? And then I saw some conversation. Apparently, he might not be. People were saying that his life support was still beeping when the camera cut away from him, so he potentially could still be going. But I mean, Boba literally speared him in the chest. So I mean, he'd have to have a really thick sternum to not die.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, but then the last scene, it's like totally opposite tones. When he's talking with Fennec and they're like walking and through the happy streets and stuff.
Wait, say that again?
Like you're saying, Boba's like regretting his entire life's decision and all this stuff, but then he's parading through the streets and like embracing the hero-ness of him clearing the streets and all that. It's very contradicting. No,
I'm saying this entirety of the show, everybody's been like, why isn't he the Boba Fett we all know? Why has he gone soft? Why is he merciful? And even I thought that. I was like, okay, why has he had this change of heart? And we obviously see a little bit of, with the Tuscans, he had a spiritual awakening, and he had this, reckoning where he faced his demons and haunted by memories of his childhood. And so the whole show has been centered around him trying to get rid of that bounty hunter facade that he has had his whole life. Everybody knows him to be a cold-blooded killer. Like, that's his reputation. In this whole show, he's been trying to rebuild a more merciful name for himself and trying to be a different leader and reshaping the throne that he's trying to sit on. But yet at every corner, people are telling him, you have to send a message. Nobody respects you. Where's your toughness? You can't do this. And he's trying to prove throughout the season that you can be a leader and be merciful and still incite fear in people, and that you don't have to be this stone cold killer to get people to listen to you. I feel like that was his goal of the show, to like create a new name for himself and shed his old persona. And then that moment with Cad Bane, like, it's like, I don't know, the straw that breaks the camel's back, is that the saying? Like, his dying words from his old mentor, like, you're I know you're a killer. Like, you literally just stabbed me. Like, this is who you are. I feel like that was, like, he had a quick little moment there, but obviously, yes, he's still celebrating their victory, and they defeated the Pikes, and he's trying to turn a new leaf and change everything around, and Tatooine's, not just going to be walked all over by these crime syndicates, and he's going to make sure of that. That's my point. I don't know if that answered what you were saying. Like, he had that moment of weakness and killed Cad Bane like that. And that's exactly what Cad Bane wanted him to do to prove his point. And that just, like, boiled back down to Boba's whole gripe the entire show. Like, trying to become a new man. I don't know. That was I'm really fixated on Tamora Morrison's acting in that scene. Because I don't know, maybe I have a different perspective because in my acting classes, obviously there's a buttload of different techniques or whatever, but one of the key things that can really stand out is like your moment after. That's literally what it's called, the moment after. You have your moment before your scene and your moment after, when you're done with your dialogue, you're done with your action, and then the audience is just left with you and your emotion, your thought. And he had an amazing moment after in that scene where we can just see on his face, he's kind of just like, I'm better than this, but I had to kill him anyway. Like, he snapped and he knew it, and he wasn't like, he didn't look proud of it necessarily. He's proud of what he did to clear the town of the Pikes, but he's not proud of the fact that Cad Bane is perhaps right about him.
Yeah, in terms of Boba's character development, like, I think it's fine. I just think that it was, like, all the action scenes, like, it just felt weird and non-consequential.
You weren't fearful at all for, like, Mando? He had, like, 9 lives in this episode.
Yeah, the Beskar is a cheat code. Like, you just cannot die. You cannot die. And so, I mean, they're getting lit up, littered with bullets. They're on the ground. The droids are running around, chasing people in the streets, shooting at them. Not a single one of them died. Chrysanthemum was getting literally chewed on by a bunch of Trandoshans. Totally fine. They're, like, limping him around the city. Totally fine. And then just, like, the blaster sequences and the shooting and the way people move when they're shooting, and it just looks very, it just looks off to me. And it's the same with, even in Mando season 2, when Boba and Fennec show up at the temple and Grogu and Mando, like, the way the blaster sequences are shot, and they're both, obviously Robert Rodriguez directed both those episodes, like, the way the blasters look, like at one point Mando and Fennec are just standing back to back, just, like, shooting and no cover, and it's like there's 30 stormtroopers, and it's like, come on, guys, like, there's no weight, there's no fear.
Captain Wrecked, I like that. Mando season 3 said he wouldn't get killed this series. I know. I was so worried at so many different points throughout the episode. I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna kill off Din Djarin. But it's It's like, no, they can't because he still has his own show that they gotta focus on.
Up until the moment when he and Boba are like, go die in the name of honor. Like, that scene was awesome.
I loved that scene.
But then they went out and it was like, oh yeah, that's right, they can't die because they have Beskar, and apparently blaster bolts don't do anything to any human or alien or nothing. But yeah, in Mando season season 2, when they arrive at the temple, it's like I thought that blaster scene looked off, and like, I don't know, it just bothered me. And then even the first action sequence in the first episode when they get raided by the assassins and they're they have their shields up and they're in the middle, like, it was like only one person could attack at a time, and it looked very staged to me. So I don't know, that was I don't know, it pulls me out of it. It feels off.
I'm seeing people say, I liked Joshua's comment. This episode was listed as the season finale, not the series finale. So we are going to get more of this story in one form or another. I agree. After this, I was low-key expecting them to release, like, season 2 coming, blah, 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 2024 or 23 or whatever. But then they released the Kenobi news instead today, which I will take. But I was expecting a Book of Boba Fett season 2 reveal to be the big news following the finale. But after that episode, I don't know. I feel pretty confident that there could be a season 2, but even if there isn't, I'd be shocked if this storyline doesn't bleed into Mandalorian season 3. Because I don't know. I think they need to handle it differently, though, than the way they did this season, because I like when shows have subplots. Mandalorian has predominantly been Din and Grogu the entire time, and yes, they go to different planets and see different people, new characters, but it's just constantly focused on their through line. Whereas other shows like Game of Thrones, Xwing, have like 50 different protagonists, and you go off and...
Well, that's what the point of all these different shows are.
I know, but I'm saying, like, if...
Did you watch episodes 5 and 6?
I'm saying I don't know if that was properly done, though. A huge thing that people are saying is that episodes 5 and 6 feel like they are a completely different show, and they didn't integrate Boba necessarily, which is why some people feel like this finale was perhaps, like, rushed. So I'm saying in the future going forward, I want to see, yes, more characters, storylines overlapping, but I want it to be in a way that they are, like, it feels like it's part of the same show still going forward. So that's moral of the story. I think we're not done, and I think that this is... Yeah,
Boba and Fennec, they're all going to show up in future Mando seasons or whatever. Like, Boba's set up now at the end of this episode to be a good guy, and, Mando has stepped in once again to help him and literally said he was going to die for him as part of his creed. So, yeah, good guy Boba is going to be super involved in the future.
Xwing is a celeb in the chat.
Also, there's a lot of logistical questions I have during this episode.
Okay.
Also, I have to point out that last week we were talking about Grogu's decision and what he was going to show up, and that I suggested that R2 is going to fly Grogu back to Tatooine. And Catherine was like, no, Luke's going to have to go. And I was like, how many ships have R2 flown?
Okay, I'm shocked, though. I'm, like, honestly disappointed in Luke. Like, I think that's a little bit petty of him.
No. You know why?
To not at least escort him. Why?
No, because he said, choose Mando or the Jedi Order. And so he's not going to escort him as his personal Jedi protector, because he's trying to teach Grogu a lesson that sacrificing attachments to become a Jedi is worth it. But he's also preoccupied with his Force Ghost Council on how to reconvene the Jedi Order that we're going to see in Ahsoka or whenever. But anyway, besides that, there's Boba getting all the way back to the palace and getting the Rancor back in to downtown Mos Espa that fast. Someone brought that up. Also, Fennec takes the speeder and goes from Mos Espa to Mos Eisley in like 5 minutes. So that didn't make any sense either. Then also, the freaking Afro lady and Grogu roll up in their cart from Mos Eisley to Mos Espa in 5 minutes. It's like, I had always thought that like Mos Espa and Mos Eisley were like on completely other sides of the planet. But apparently they're a quick stroll down the road from each other. That might just be me not knowing the Tatooine geography very well, but that's kind of always what I've assumed.
Maybe.
I
like Alice's point. Yes, Alice, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, he's being a hypocrite. Luke is, like, telling Grogu he's never allowed to see the Mandalorian again, but I'm sure he goes and hangs out with Han and Leia and literally trains his own nephew in the future. Like, I feel like this version of Luke was... I don't know. He was amazing, but he was different. Like, something about him seemed like, why... I feel like you wouldn't think like this after knowing what happened to your own father. Like, it was the heavy restrictions on the Jedi that led him to, you know, like, to his downfall. So why would you impose that on baby Grogu? Like, I don't know. Well, Grogu landed at night, and the fight was during the day. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Alice
yeah,
makes a good
I mean, yeah, I mean,
they
have starships, and you can get literally in space like instantaneously. So it's really not. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm a very geographically oriented person, and so like the logistics of getting from one place to another. I think that's, you know, at least Fennec's speeder, they intentionally made Fennec's speeder like ridiculously fast when she actually left. It wasn't like the Vespas that are rolling 10 miles an hour. Like, they actually made Fennec's speeder extremely fast, like Anakin's was in Attack of the Clones. But, you know, it's just like...
Squarely makes a good point. He probably knew that Grogu would learn or remember more with Mando because of his bond. That's a pretty interesting point. That he'd be more likely to open up or, like, tap into old memories with somebody that he is comfortable with. I don't know. See, I'm so conflicted because I partially wanted him to pick the armor for the sake of the plot. But after seeing him in this episode and seeing how much he's grown in terms of, like, the fact that he could literally bring down that huge droid and put a Rancor to sleep, like, I don't want to see him forsake that. And I thought Din was maybe going to have a moment, or maybe this will happen in Mando Season 3, but I feel like Din is going to be too proud of a dad to be like, I can't keep you for myself. I want you to grow. Like, Din saw how much Yoda, baby Grogu had grown in terms of his skills. Like, he saw a clear transformation from the last time he saw Grogu wielding the Force to protect him, which was in Season 1, yes. So I feel like I really thought Din was going to have a moment where he has to be like, I have to bring you back to Luke because I don't want you to give up on this. You have a gift and you should be allowed to use it. I don't know. It's hard because I want him to be with Din, but I want him to become a Jedi. Like, we need more Jedi content. I feel like
that is for sure.
Yeah, in Star Wars, like, yeah. I love this era of, like, these shows, Disney Plus. Like, do not get me wrong, I love all of this, but I just think we're lacking in Jedi Force users out of, you know, all these new characters. Grogu was an opportunity to, you know, integrate more of that, and then him going off to train with Luke, you know, we're all thinking that he's going to become this huge Jedi. So now if he's not, it's like, all right, well, there's a missed opportunity for more potential Jedi characters in modern day Star Wars. Like, or seeing Luke again. Like, was that it? Is that the end? Like, is that all we're getting of Luke Skywalker now? Unless somehow their paths cross again in Mando Season 3, but it's like if Grogu has no interest in going back, or if Din doesn't force him to, you know, is that it? Did Luke unlock some or all of Grogu's memories? That's a good point, because his memory cuts off right around after the 501st were coming to get him in his memory there. So I wonder if Luke, I don't know, could sense that it was a dark memory, or if it was similar to like Ahsoka, like when she tried to tap in to Grogu's past and she couldn't even tell. She couldn't decipher because it just goes dark after that. I don't know.
Yeah, the only good part of the show was Fennec and how she assassinated the Pikes. Yeah, I mean, regardless of how Fennec got to Mos Eisley and how long it took her to get there, when she got there, like, just straight up assassinating all of them and, like, literally hanging the mayor. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
It was ruthless. It was savage.
He got what he deserved.
It was incredible.
At first, when I reacted to that, when I first watched it, I was like, it seems like why wouldn't she let Boba do the honors of taking out the lead Pike? And it seems like she was doing it so secretively, like she was so sneaky about it, obviously. But I don't know, at first when I watched it, I was like, why wouldn't she let Boba do this? But then in hindsight, I'm like, all right, it probably wouldn't be a good look for him to go assassinating all these people when he's trying to, like, leave a good impression on, you know, Tatooine and his people that he's trying to, you know, offer protection. But
hanging the mayor was mad for a Disney show.
Yes.
Yeah, drop out it was, but it was.
And also the Gamorreans awesome. Getting launched off of the cliffside. That was like,
they didn't get launched, they fell.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
They got forced to fall.
That was kind of, I was like I was surprisingly scarred by that, because I don't have a soft spot for Gamorreans, and I think that they are a bit weird. But when that scene hit, I was like, oh my gosh, why am I about to cry? That was awesome to me. The whole show was awesome. Yes, Nic Gundy, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, maybe since she's got metal inside her, she's a changed woman. She's a little bit dark. That could be Alice. Frank Castle, thank you so much. They killed the Gamorreans, but not the Vespas. They took out some of them. There were only like the 4 OG ones left, right?
Yeah, I think that after like that whole setup, I think was good. How like the betrayal and Chrysanthemum got betrayed and the mods got betrayed. Like everyone was trapped at their posts because the other crime families betrayed them.
Yeah.
Like after that happened, and then Boba and Mando were like, all right, we got our last stand. We're going to, you know, die in honor. It was great. But then, honestly, I feel like the episode was too long.
What?
I feel like it was too long. I feel like they just really prolonged out the content in between Boba and Mando, you know, starting the fight, and then when Boba kills Cad. Like, I feel like there was a lot in there, and then it made it seem less consequential.
I don't think so. I feel like
the majority of the episode is them just running in the streets, being chased by the droid, and the droid just not shooting them. Like, move your guns up by like 3 more degrees, then you're gonna kill everyone in like 5 shots. But instead, they're like, nope, you're gonna stay down like this. But if you just raise them up, everyone would be dead, and then you'd save all the Pike's lives. Like, if I'm the Pike commander and I saw that droid run around like that, and it didn't move it didn't rotate up by 5 degrees, like, I would be pissed. I would have stormed out there, reprogrammed it on the spot, and been like, listen, if you tilt your guns up 5 degrees, everyone is dead. And the episode's over.
Fennec, the gutsiest woman with no guts in the galaxy, hanging a politician on a Disney show. When you put it that way, Captain Rex, when you put it that way. No, I thought it was perfect because, and you mentioned earlier that it was predictable, like if someone had told you that this is how the finale was going to go down. But I feel like they've been alluding to this the entire season, like the war. We're on the edge of war. The storm is about to break, and we're like, all right, you're saving it for the very last episode here. So when I saw that 61-minute timer, I was like, let's go, because this is what it needs to be. They've been hyping up this huge all-out brawl with the Pikes, who are they've clearly been prepping for this. Like, they've been loading into town, like they're getting ready. I was hoping that they were going to elaborate on it and that it wasn't going to be over with in like 38 minutes. They had the high ground, says Joshua.
No, I'm talking about the people running in the streets. Like, the gun is aimed like this, down, right? Aiming at the people. But for 20 minutes of screen time, the bullets from the droid are landing like 10 yards short of anyone that's running in the street. And so if they just rotate their arms up a little bit, then in 30 seconds, everyone is dead. Except for Mando and Din, because they got their jetpacks. But instead they were like, we can't.
It's fiction.
Unless it's fixed. It's fixed wings. And it was just slow enough so that it couldn't actually intercept with the people running.
Yeah.
That's what it is. When the technical spec for that droid comes out in like the Art of Book of Boba Fett or whatever, it's gonna say like, oh, blasters locked at X degrees. And then they're going to say that like a human runs it, they were running it, or jogging. They really weren't even running, they were like jogging. Jogging at like 5 miles an hour. The droid can only move at 5 miles an hour, therefore it's never going to get any closer. And so if the angle's locks and fixed and it starts at a certain point, then it's never going to actually hit him.
I love this comment from Captain Wrecked. After 20 years in the military, I stopped making tactical assessments of shootouts in movies a long time ago. But yes, the ED-209s didn't aim right at all.
Captain Wreck, I agree. Like, there's so much in Star Wars alone that doesn't really apply and make sense in the real world, obviously. However, for the majority of things, like, you're so immersed that you don't think about it. But when there's a chase scene that's like 20 minutes and it's just back and forth scenes between one droid chasing people in the street and they're running and it's missing them, and then another droid chasing Mando in the street and it's missing him, and it's like 20 minutes of back and forth of the same thing and there's no consequence. It's like your brain is starting to think like, how are they still alive? Why isn't the droid killing them? What would the droid have to do to kill them? How could they kill the droid? You know, your mind just starts to ponder. But yeah, also someone brought up the stormtroopers, and it's like, yeah, the stormtroopers are painfully awful at shooting. But at least in like the original trilogy, the stormtroopers can't hit anything. But for the majority of times, like, the targets they're shooting at are in cover. You know, no one... I mean, there's a scene in A New Hope where Han, like, you know, is running down the hallway and there's, like, a bunch of stormtroopers chasing after him and they're shooting him and they're missing. But, like, the majority of the time in the original trilogy, from, you know, even on Cloud City, even on Hoth, like, there's a lot of full speed running, like, behind cover, and it's, like, it's not like the stormtroopers missing, like, blatantly open targets. But like in this episode, and in Mando season 2, like Boba and Fennec in Mando season 2 are just standing out in the open in no cover, and the stormtroopers are just not hitting. And then in this episode, these people are just running in the streets and the Pikes are just not hitting them. The droid is just not shooting them. Like, they're intentionally like just not shooting them. Like, just kill them. Shoot them. Like, they're not in cover. Like, yeah, eventually they get behind the wall and the fence, and then it's like, okay, they're behind cover now. But it's like, just have the droid just walk right up to the fence and knock it over. They're behind the fence for like 20 minutes. The droid, if it moves 5 miles an hour, can get 50 yards in 20 minutes, just barge right through the wall.
I love that sentence. Just kill them. Shoot them.
It's just like, and that's why I think if they shortened it a little bit, then it would have
Cut some
led for less time to speculate on why on earth is this still going on.
All right.
You know, and I think they tried to, like, they made the droids, like, the droids obviously didn't move very fast. And so for the droid to get far and for, like, the droids to separate, like, they needed to show footage for longer. But yeah, I feel like I could just be getting grilled apart for being too nitpicky right now.
I feel like people mostly agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I think that the storyline, it was a nice conclusion to Boba's character and the arc they set up and the war with the Pikes and the crime families and all that. Like, I think it was a nice conclusion and it made sense plot-wise. Like, all of it made sense plot-wise.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't a single thing in the plot that I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it all makes sense from a plot perspective.
I really loved what it did for, like, Mando and Boba. Like, they're a new, like, dynamic duo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their scenes together were just so badass, like, incredible. And I don't know, I felt like it was really high stakes. Like, it was like Lord of the Rings. The Two Towers, they're going out. They know they very well might die, but they're going to make their final stand. Like,
yeah,
they're either dying or they're winning. Like, that was the energy. Yeah. And I feel like that was just, I don't know, that was important for, like, Boba's arc. I gotta say, like, I feel like my biggest concern was that they had been putting Boba on the back burner for the past 2 episodes leading up to this, which, again, however I may feel about that for the story as a whole, I can't complain. Those episodes were incredible. And, like, I wouldn't trade them for anything. Like, I will be rewatching them forever. But I, of course, was worried about, okay, this is the last episode. Like, we haven't been checking in with our main character. He still has a pretty unfinished arc here. Like, there's a lot still to do. There's a whole war that has to go down, but I feel like I didn't feel like unsatisfied at all. Mm-hmm. Like, that they didn't hit any markers. There were a couple things, you know, I was maybe thinking the boss Tusken chick was gonna come back, perhaps, you know, in the future. Maybe she'll make an appearance or something, you know. We've learned with Star Wars, if you don't see the dead body, they're not actually gone, so...
Everyone's talking about the shields now, and that's like the biggest thing. It's like, how many blaster bolts are you gonna put into these shields before you realize that it's not working? They were shooting at these shields for like 30 minutes. It's like, it's not gonna work, guys. You stop turning around and shooting and just run. Like, you shooting at the shield is literally doing nothing. It's doing nothing except you're wasting your energy shooting at the shield. It's like, ooh, let's try and light the shield on fire. Ooh, let's try and shoot rockets at the shield. It's like, it's not gonna work. How many rockets you gotta waste in the shield? How many freaking flame cartridges are gonna burn on the shield? How many blaster bolts are you gonna put in the shield?
Oh,
it's clearly not working. It took them 15 minutes of straight footage of them shooting the shields.
That droidica was played by The Rock, says Alan.
Yeah.
Well, does everybody want to share?
Yeah, you can't try to punch it. Let's punch the shield.
Oh my god.
So, oh god.
Does everybody want to share their favorite episode of the season? I want to hear from you guys. We can end this on a positive note because...
Oh, that's a good point from Squirrely.
That's good.
Them shooting the shield was to show how strong the Rancor is. Yeah, I mean, the Rancor rolled up and just straight up clobbered through the shield.
You say Rancor?
Yeah. You also say, you enunciate you're like, I think you are
Rancor.
British. I think you're British.
It's Rancor.
Rancor. The Rancor.
Rancor is like a actual word, isn't it?
Rancor. I don't say Rancor. Rancor. I say it fast. Yeah, it's Rancor.
Rancor is an actual word. Oh, wait, what?
I don't know.
Rancor is a digital media company. Never mind. Comment in the chat. Who's saying it right? Rancor? Rancor. Rancor. That's how Fennec pronounced it. Perhaps You'll talk to the Rancor. Hey, Nic Gundy! Been a member for 2 months. Let's go! That's awesome. I didn't know that it shows those little... That's got to be new. Those little alert thingies if somebody's been a member for 2 months.
I don't know.
Rancor says squarely. Rancor. Like grindcore. Impeccable diction. Rancor depends on British or American pronunciation.
Catherine has very English pronunciation.
It's definitely rank or. Rancor.
Yeah, it is core. It's core. It's core. But if you say it fast, rancor.
No.
Rancor. 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 You guys got any rancors? It's all about the speed and if you're British or not.
That probably is how they pronounce it in the South. Luke beat up on that rancor. In my Aussie way, we say it the way Kat says it. All right, so maybe I'm Aussie at heart. Rancor, yes.
No, I think
and Kat,
if you were
to
read it, if you were in a spelling bee, you would say rancor.
You're saying it like you're a cowboy.
Wanker. Yeah, you wanker.
Don't say that.
What?
That's a bad word. That's a British bad word.
It's not. It doesn't mean it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's like a. It's not that bad.
All right. Does everybody want to sound off on what their favorite episode was from the season as a whole? Now that we have seen them all. TMoney, what's up?
TMoney.
TMoney, how are you after Cad Bane time?
I was like,
I wanted to get TMoney loves Cad Bane. And so I wanted to, I've been meaning to reach out to you. I wanted to hear like how excited you were to see him in last week's episode, but as soon as I saw that scene, I immediately thought of you, TMoney, and I was like, oh my gosh, is he suffering right now? Oh gosh. You're making me break out my southern drawl. We're all gonna be speaking southern by the end of it.
Oh, Jay Brown, that scene's coming. That scene is definitely coming. And I was, after last week, we had theorized about the beginning of this episode possibly being definitely Grogu leaving, but then Luke like counseling with Force Ghost Council on like his failure and how he should train the Jedi in the future and all this stuff. I guarantee that scene happened, but we're just not going to see it until, I don't know if it's going to be Ahsoka or Mando season 3 or what, but like we're definitely going to see that scene eventually. And if it's not then we would see Anakin when Ahsoka and Luke meet, because obviously they've met at this point. And so in the Ahsoka show, I bet we see when Ahsoka and Luke actually meet.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we would get those two realizing who each other is. And then we'd get the bridge between them, Master Anakin in the flesh. But they also wouldn't want to reveal Hayden prior to Kenobi. And that's what we were talking about. You and I were talking about that.
Yep.
Like, they're not going to have Hayden's reveal be in the Book of Boba Fett.
No.
When Hayden's first face appearance in Star Wars since 2005.
It was going to be
in the Kenobi show. Yeah.
This last episode was the best. Grogu coming by himself wearing that cutie wootie vest and putting the Rancor to sleep. Steven says Boba episode 2 and Mando episode 5. I agree, guys. I was saying this because we rewatched all the episodes last night to stay awake, but also to just have a little marathon to ring in the finale. And honestly, episode 2 holds up like as my favorite one of this season, even with that amazing Mandalorian episode 5, episode 6. Like, those were incredible, but something about Boba episode 2, I can't even explain. Maybe I have to make a separate video of why I think that one is so incredible. Episode 6 was the best. Seeing Luke and Ahsoka,
Yeah, I think in terms of like Boba's arc and Boba centric, like episode 2 is definitely the best.
It was incredible. And it was so overall, new for Star Wars.
Like, episode 5 and 6, like overall, just in terms of like the episodes, like
I mean,
they have to be number 1.
they're almost like too good to be true.
Yeah, like
I still
episode
haven't
6 is
fully-
literally the most
Yeah,
it was so unbelievably.
I haven't fully grasped
Good.
that is still like real life and not just temporary. I wanted to read TMoney's. I thought it was like, we just got him and then they just killed him. But honestly, I'm not mad. It was the best way to end his character. I like to hear that coming from you because I know that he's one of your faves. So I'm glad that you're not taking it too bad. I just watched the final episode with a friend from another college and we were screaming the entire time. It was awesome. That's so fun. It's
Yeah,
so
awesome.
amazing what like we've had the capability to like do those types of things, like watch parties or FaceTime watch with people. But like I feel like, I don't know, nobody ever really started doing that till like 2020 happened, and then that was like the only option, and now it's just like so common. Like people just do watch parties with friends. Like I feel like that was one good thing, if any, to come out of the past couple of years. So that's fun to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
You can't even really count the past 2 episodes as Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, that was like a Book of Mandalorian 2.0, 2.5.
yeah.
Book of Bobalorian, yes, Sean.
Boba causing mass destruction with the Rancor was definitely worth screaming about.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, that part where the Rancor was
mean-
ready to rip that thing in half, and Boba says, like, do it.
Yeah.
That was like,
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah. I mean, and even like when you first, like the opening reveal of him riding the Rancor and it's like crawling on the building top. It's like incredible entrance from the Rancor.
There you
Incredible
go.
entrance from the Rancor.
There you go. Fanboys! Oh my gosh, yes, I have to watch that still. Yes! Can't wait for Kenobi in only a few months. I know! Well, are we getting Bad Batch Season 2 between now and then? Hopefully, because I can't wait that... This has been such a peak time, I feel like, for Star Wars fans. This series, like... I don't want to go back into a drought. I need something instantaneously. Like, I
feel
need
like they're
something
gonna
else.
do Bad Batch like over the summer, like they did last year.
Oh, maybe.
I feel like we'll be in a drought until Kenobi, and then it'll be Kenobi, Bad Batch, and or Mando, like all back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I saw that Mando Season 3 is definitely... I mean, again, I saw this on Twitter, so we know how valid that is as a source, aka never trust what you see on Twitter, potentially, but I saw on Twitter, reports were saying that it is a good to go for a December of 2022 release, I think. So maybe exactly what happened with Book of Boba Fett, it'll come out like the last day of the month, so they can say December, but you really have to wait till pretty much like January, so...
Well, it's like Kenobi in May. It's coming out in May. Memorial Day weekend.
Well, do we want to...
And it's like every single Battlefront 2 update that ever came out. It's like, oh, it's coming out in the fall. Okay, November 31st. All right,
yeah.
cool. Sounds good.
Oh, we have Lego Star Wars between now.
Yes,
and
that's
then.
true.
That's what we've got.
We do have Lego
That's what
Star
we got.
Wars.
So we got
I mean,
we got some stuff.
Non-Star Wars, but Batman in less than a month.
Batman, yup.
So there's some things
Good
sprinkled in
things.
there, here
Good
and
things
there.
happening.
But it's going to be a long 3 months until Kenobi.
Yep.
Or March, April. Yeah, three, almost 4 months now. Yeah, March, April, May, plus 2 weeks. So 3.5 months.
Yep.
3.5 months till Kenobi. And
Well,
it's going to be long wait.
yeah. Well, on that note, we might sign off for the evening, folks. I don't know about you, but I'm tired. Tom got like only 4 hours of sleep last night, so we're gonna end this one. We're on the hour mark here, but thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm sad that we're not going to have Book of Boba Fett to discuss anymore. But now we can move on to some other topics. So as always, if you have any suggestions for what we should discuss in the coming weeks for Dork Discourse, let us know. Maybe we can get into some, other content. Batman now to ring in the Batman. Also, I'm maybe going to start playing Arkham Knight.
Arkham Origins,
yes,
one.
For some gaming. Yeah. So get ready, we're gonna revive the gaming streams to celebrate the Batman coming out. Excited for that. But thank you all so much for hanging out. I'm sad that there's no more. I'm so upset I can't even say it. I'm sad there's no more Book of Boba Fett. But I hope you guys enjoyed the series overall. I know that I definitely did. I mean, I think this show was revolutionary in a lot of ways. So, any last words?
Well, I think overall good show, very entertaining. Some nitpicks here and there, but overall good show.
Yeah. Very
entertaining. It was a nice, in terms of the bigger impact to the Star Wars galaxy, obviously episodes 5 and 6 expanded the lore infinitely more than any of the other episodes. But at least we got them. I don't care if it's Book of Boba Fett or the Book of Salacious Crumb or the Book of Max Rebo. I don't care what episodes and what shows those episodes are slapped in.
The Book of Cobb Vanth.
I hope not.
Oh, come on. He's my favorite. All right. Well, anyway, on that note, smash those likes. Yes, thank you, Captain Rex.
Anyway,
thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll catch you guys again same time next week. Well, maybe no. Yes, it will be same time next week. We're staying on Wednesdays now.
No, but not ideally not 6:30.
Yes,
we want to go earlier than that.
Yes, we just had a late evening tonight, so thank you guys so much for hanging out. Missed you guys. Hope you all enjoyed the finale, regardless of. I hope you had a good time watching it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but after last week's episode, I could not fall asleep. After this episode, I turned off the TV and went right to bed.
Oh, stop. All right, you're ending it on a bad note. I stayed up late.
Kenobi, yes, baby, here. Kenobi. Went on a good note. Went on a good note. Went on a beautiful note. Went on a fantastic note that everyone is going to be excited about. Snow. So we're going to end on this. Everyone just look at that beast, that magnificent creature lurking in the sand.
Alrighty. I think we're literally ending it on this. So peace, love, Kenobi!